YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with our last record predictions video for the 2022 season. We went through every single division. There's a playlist on the channel full of all those, each team game by game. This one for the NFC West, so the 4 NFC West teams here, breaking it down, taking a look at my record prediction game by game, and then we'll take a look at best case, worst case scenario. You guys are playing along, voting on our Twitter. Creating a playoff field, you'll eventually create some predictions and then a future video there as well. We'll do my playoff predictions here in our next video, our way too early playoff predictions and Super Bowl predictions. So join us, like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Be much appreciated. Here's our Twitter. There's that poll that I just posted moments ago before recording this video. There's more polls. We're going to figure out the wild cards and then who's going to win each round of the playoffs there. So it should be a lot of fun. PlayoffPredictors.com is the name of the website. That we're using, that we predict all these games game by game. We'll start with the defending Super Bowl champion Los Angeles Rams, and they play the Bills in Week 1. And I picked every Week 1 game already. I'm sticking to the Bills in that one. It's tough because it's in LA. First game of the year, Thursday Night Football, defending champs. So the Rams very well could win that. I'm just feeling the Bills. Just dealing with Josh Allen Week 1 just got to be tough. There for the Rams, and they lost Von Miller. Von Miller playing for the Bills over there, so they lost more than just Von Miller too. I'm sure they'll get Odell back. I don't think he'll be healthy for this game. They get Allen Robinson though, so that should be fun to watch. But I'm gonna take the Bills here in this one. But I'm excited to see the Rams, to see if they can repeat and how Allen Robinson meshes into that offense. Cam Akers full time there, not starting the year with an injury. So, excited about the Rams still. But the Bills I went with in Week 1. Then I got the Rams in Week 2. Rams-Cardinals. That's a tough one because Cardinals were hot to start last year. Can they do that again? But then they don't have DeAndre Hopkins, which would be huge in a game like this. I took the Rams. I actually ended up having splitting was what I was going to go with here. Splitting away wins is what I was going to do. So, that is what we'll do. So the first time the Cardinals played the Rams last year was just pure domination, and we saw the Rams really take that step up. And the playoff game was just pure domination the other way. But I have them splitting here. Rams-Niners, Monday night in San Francisco. I'm going to take the Niners, getting that revenge from that playoff game. We'll see if their defense continues to play the way it did where it left off. It was pretty damn solid at the end of last year, and maybe it gets even better, Javon Kinlaw coming back, draft some guys like Drake Jackson, Javarius Ward. They signed for the cornerback position, which they needed there. I think the Niners in that one. I had the Rams over the Cowboys, probably a shootout type game. I'm going to trust LA in LA, and then they should be fine against the Panthers as well going into the bye week where they play the Niners again. I don't think they'll lose twice to the Niners, but we've seen that in the past. It's definitely possible. Sometimes the Niners are just too physical for the Rams during the regular season. That's what it looks like, but I'm going to go for the split. Rams-Bucks. I took the Rams in this one. This is one that can go either way. Shootout game. Rams gave the Bucks problems last year, but the Bucks, we expect to be a little bit more healthy this time around. That's why, could go to the Bucks. Went with the Rams, though. Just felt like that matchup situation there. Sided with them. Rams-Saints, which could be a good one if the Saints are healthy here, but I did go with the Rams. Went with the Rams over the Chiefs to absolute shootout. Should be a lot of fun. So I kind of went with which defense I'm going to trust a little bit more. It's going to be the Rams. It's going to be Aaron Donald and the Rams there. Seahawks, Rams. And the Rams will get the Seahawks twice. There's the first one. Thursday night, home against the Raiders. These primetime games are home. That's definitely helping them out a bit there. They're away in that 49ers Monday night. I thought they were home on that one that we picked for them. But no, this was a late afternoon, the home one against 49ers. Then we got Rams-Packers. I took the Rams in this one. Just do the Packers defense I like going in this year. I think it's going to be better. I think it's going to be strong. So I don't know if there's any stopping the Rams offense, though. Can the Packers offense, with Aaron Rodgers is possible, but no Devontae Adams, can they keep up with the Rams offense? Was feeling the Rams. Christmas, home. Another big-time game home against the Broncos should be another good one. Potential shootout. Russell Wilson versus Matthew Stafford in L.A. on Christmas. I'm going to go with the Rams in that one. I took the Chargers, L.A. versus L.A. I took the Chargers over the Rams. It's another one that could be a shootout. I think Herbert could have a big game here. And the Chargers kind of stacking up that secondary and kind of focusing on that. The teams that just air the ball out, dropping more guys in coverage. I think it could be beneficial in a game like this, where I think their defense can make that extra play while their offense puts up some good numbers at home against the Rams here. And then I have the Rams 2-0ing the Seattle Seahawks. So 13-4, another pretty good season for the LA Rams there. To best case scenario, there's some of these games they can win. They could beat the Bills in week 1, but there's some games they can lose. I didn't really have them getting upset at all. I mean, I'm sure the Chargers could be underdogs against them, the Cardinals away, but I don't view those as major upsets. Even the best of the teams, they slip up sometimes. They lose some games. So I really think the best case, maybe 15 if we really want to push it, but I really think at the 14 wins, I had them predicted at 13. Then worst case, I don't think we can drop this too much. We had them losing to the Bills. I had them split with the Cardinals. Again, they could win both of those. Could lose to the 49ers twice, though. Between the Bucs and the Chiefs, we could switch to the Bucs. Again, losing some of these games, they're probably underdog. Maybe they lose. Yeah, maybe we can switch it over. Maybe the worst case is 11-6. I just don't really see it. I'm really firm on that 12, 13, 14 for the LA Rams. And I had 13, so we switch this one, and that's what we had. Okay, we're on to the Arizona Cardinals next, which should be an interesting team as well because they were like the best team in football to start last year, right? And then they kind of went downhill. We kind of saw that the year before, too. They were more underwhelming at the end of the year. They couldn't kind of, in crunch time, figure it out. Will that be kind of the same thing? Last year I noticed teams were able to properly game plan for them. So is their system kind of figured out now? So, or do they start strong early on, or can they figure out a finish? Because remember, they have some young players like Kyler Murray, who kind of leads the way for them. He's a young player that's actually still getting better. So could he get over that hump? Could he get better where it's a problem for teams and there's really no adjusting? Tough part is we kind of expect them to start strong, but DeAndre Hopkins, one of their very best players, is out the first 6 weeks, suspended obviously. And then they lose Christian Kirk, which probably isn't a major loss because they have a guy like Rondale Moore stepping up, but it is a loss. And then you look at defensively, they lose Chandler Jones. The cornerback group's looking a little thin. The pass rush doesn't look too strong right now. The defensive line is definitely on the weaker side besides J.J. Watt. Can he stay healthy? So that's the tough part with the Cardinals. It felt like, because they didn't really do much damage. They had Hollywood Brown, which helps the receiver unit as well, but while DeAndre Hopkins is out and even when he's back. So, them together could really boost that up. Guy like Isaiah Simmons could step up, really think highly of him. Can a guy like Zaven Collins step up? But it does feel like they kind of got worse roster-wise from last year to this year, mainly because they didn't really do a whole lot this offseason. Even the draft, they traded for Hollywood Brown, but not a whole bunch of impactful draft picks there, obviously, and no action really in free agency, just lost some guys. So that's a tough part with the Cardinals. So, and a tough beginning part of their schedule, especially with no DeAndre Hopkins. I took the Chiefs in week 1. We saw the Cardinals strong. They dominated the Titans in week 1 last year. So it's very possible they can do it again. Week 1, anything can happen. So week 1 games is pretty much just flip a coin here. But the Chiefs, I trust the Chiefs offense to get rolling in a game like this. I think the Cardinals defense could be hit or miss this year, just because they don't have the strength that they had last year. I think mainly look at a guy like Chandler Jones. I'll take the Chiefs and probably a shootout. I feel like that's definitely going to be a shootout. That game should be pretty fun. I ended up taking the Raiders in this one too, but that's one that really can go either way. So it's weird having the Cardinals start 0-3, but that's a tough schedule. I think the Raiders would probably pound the football to start the game on the Cardinals. In their run games could be pretty effective. They had Devontae Adams along with Hunter Renfrow, Derek Carr. So they could be strong passing the ball as well. Another one that could be a shootout there in Las Vegas. I took the Raiders. It's kind of tough seeing the Cardinals start 0-3, though. Take them here against the Panthers. Eagles-Cardinals was one I kind of been back and forth on through this whole process, thinking about. I feel like the Eagles probably would be effective running on the Cardinals. But I do think, even though the Eagles secondary does get better, they had James Bradbury, I do think Kyler Murray could have a day through the air against this Eagles defense. I still think you kind of air it out on them. I go Cardinals. It's a 50-50 one, though. Cardinals, Seahawks. I think the Seahawks could. It's kind of could be a trap game, especially when you play them twice. I actually think they could be very good running the football with the collection of running backs they had, and I do think their run blocking will be better. Not that it'll be great. Not that run blocking was a huge problem in the past. It was more pass protection. So Seahawks might be able to get one on a team like the Cardinals here. I definitely don't think they win twice against the Cardinals. So we can go ahead and give, and it's either a split or the Cardinals, who are the better team. The better team always win, but split or the Cardinals win too. I think the Cardinals over the Saints on Thursday night could be a good game. Cardinals Vikings, they had a good battle last year, and the Vikings get this one. They're home. Vikings feel like they got a little bit better on paper. Maybe the Cardinals a little bit worse. Not that really plays a huge part, but I was feeling the Vikings at home there. I had them splitting with the Rams. Winning away games, actually, is what I went with. So 2 in a row for the Cardinals there. Take a Monday night against the 49ers here, so that's 3 in a row. Chargers, Cardinals. I like the Chargers in that one. Chargers got the secondary to keep everything underneath, which you want to do against the Cardinals. They also have the offense to move the ball, be productive against the Cardinals. I like the Chargers where they match up in that one. Bye week, Patriots, Cardinals, another one I was kind of a little bit back and forth. Patriots could run the ball effectively on them. I don't know if I love the Patriots defense on paper. Belichick's always going to have his defense playing better than you think, but the Cardinals Monday night could have a solid game through the air in that one. Or on the ground as well. Cardinals, Broncos. This one was a tough one to pick when I was doing the AFC West. I was just kind of a gut feeling going with the Cardinals in this one. Russell Wilson versus the Cardinals. You see it 2 times a year, see it once. Kind of get these late season crazy games last couple of years. 2 years ago specifically. So maybe one of those high scoring games. I was just kind of feeling the Cardinals in that one. Bucks and Cardinals. Take the Bucks. It was in the Broncos and the Bucks. Maybe I was split there. Tough games. Had them beating the Falcons down here, and I had them splitting with the 49ers, so the 49ers winning that one. So we're at 9-8. I thought I had, for some reason, started to pick them a lot at the end. I thought it was going to be a 10 or 11, but it ended up being 9-8, which kind of makes sense because I don't think they're a better team. I don't think that's tough because, again, Kyler Murray, Isaiah Simmons, Rondale Moore, some of these young guys throughout their team could improve, could develop, could progress, so they could get better kind of by default. But, kind of losing some guys, not having DeAndre Hopkins for first 6 weeks. They do have Hollywood Brown, but still it feels like kind of on paper they might be a little bit worse. And it's just going to be, do teams have them figured out? Can they start strong again? Can they finish strong finally? That's the thing kind of going back, though. I did have them, I had them going 9-8. Which it feels like a 9-10 win team here, but I had them start 0-3, and you could say, most people may think that's probably, you understand the logic because it's some tough matchups here, some tough teams, but maybe that's not going to happen. Maybe they win one of those. It's very realistic, and then that just boosts them to 10-7, and they're, very much in that playoff spot, which in the NFC you could be in the 9 spot with 9 wins as well for that 7 spot. So best case, I'd probably switch the Raiders one maybe instead of the Chiefs one. I had them beating the Eagles, which I was 50-50 on that one. I had them beating the Saints. It's kind of a 50-50 one. So I kind of gave them the 2-50-50. Between the Vikings, Cardinals, a 50-51, so we kind of gave them a loss on that one. I did have them losing the Seahawks. They could very well. They're better than the Seahawks. They could 2-0 the Seahawks there. I had them beating the Rams once. I had them beating the 49ers once. I don't like the matchup with the Chargers. I had them beating the Broncos. I like splitting with the 49ers. I had them beating the Broncos so we can keep the loss to the Bucs. So I think it's pretty all realistic there. I think it's a pretty firm. I think they're going to win between, in worst case, you probably can maybe drop it down to 8. I think, maybe very worst 7. I just don't see it, though. I think 8, 9, 10, 11. But I really want to say 9, 10, 11 for the Arizona Cardinals. 9, 10, 11 in that range. Maybe 8, 9, 10, 11 in that range for the Arizona Cardinals there. It's just, being consistent. It seems like the big games, the big moments, they kind of folded a little bit in those situations. So can they kind of overcome that? How will they be with how will Hollywood mesh in? He's played with Kyler Murray, so that could be fun. How will they be without DeAndre Hopkins? So some questions with the Cardinals. Will their pass rush be without Chandler Jones? Corners, they're going to have to sign one of these free agent corners, so that can change some things. I actually predicted them to get Joe Hayden like a month ago. I predicted it, so maybe that'll happen. Maybe that'll happen soon. Got like Trey Wayne's the possibilities out there as well. I could see that. But, yeah, they're going to have to grab another corner there. Probably their young guys kind of played all right last year. Marco Wilson was better than expected, guys like that. But kind of what I had there, somewhere around that range. But we're going on to the 49ers now. And we have the 49ers sitting at 2-2 because I had them splitting with the Rams and splitting with the Cardinals, all home team winners. Yeah, I really like the way this schedule kind of starts, kind of skimming through it already. 49ers should be interesting, though. It should be Trey Lance. We were starting to think, is it going to be Garoppolo? They're keeping him, but then Shanahan said something like they expect him to be traded. So I don't think you say that and you're going to start Garoppolo week one. Sometimes coaches talk like that to throw off a game plan, but I don't know if that's the case against the Chicago Bears in week one when there isn't really much of a game plan in week one. Anyways, so I think it'll be Trey Lance, and it's interesting. I've heard some 49ers people say that maybe the staff of the 49ers aren't thrilled with him. He hasn't really progressed well so far. I'm not looking, and everyone may be in a panic. Not too many people probably. I'm not really looking into that too much. I mean, yes, first-year starter, maybe needs to be a little bit more consistent with his accuracy throwing, but so he could struggle a little bit. But I'm not really too worried about those reports. I think there was really bad reports. I know Joe Burrow was coming off an injury, but there was some really bad reports around this time in preseason. Joe Burrow, he doesn't seem the same. He's kind of panicky, and look what he did. He almost played like, you could say he played like an MVP. There's several guys that play like an MVP, and he went to the Super Bowl. So not that Trey Lance will be Joe Burrow. I'm not going to say it's going to be the opposite because somebody said it. I'm just saying I'm not taking it super serious. But there could be some struggles. It might look a little bit different. That's kind of the positive, though. Like, with their strong rushing attack as it is, you throw Trey Lance, you probably throw some misdirection, some read option, have design runs for Trey Lance. That's going to make the run game that more effective. And he's got an arm downfield. It's really on Debo. I'm kind of feeling Debo will be playing for them this year, but I could be wrong. Maybe a month ago it was kind of the opposite of that. So who knows there? Got Javon Kinlaw coming back. Some draft picks as well. So we'll see. It should be a fun team to watch here. We'll take the Niners over the Bears in week one. Anything can happen in week one. The Bears aren't really built to compete with the 49ers, and 49ers are going to come out there more prepared, I think. We'll take them. We'll take them over the Seahawks. I took the Broncos, Russell Wilson against the 49ers. Again, even though he's not in the division anymore, I felt good about the Broncos in that one. Russell Wilson could have a day like he's had in the past against 49ers. 49ers over the Rams, Monday Night Football, like them there. And they got a good stretch here. They got the Panthers and the Falcons. Upsets happen, but I just really like the 49ers in those games. So, that's a really good start here. Then against the Chiefs, they could have success pounding the football against the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just find a way to score enough points where the 49ers got to play keep up. Trey Lance, can he do it? Maybe on the ground to the Chiefs, though. Have them splitting with the Rams, which we've seen them handle the Rams twice in the season, quite a bit before. So they could win that. And then I had them again after the bye against the Chargers. Chargers should be a very strong team this year, and they should improve their run-stopping defense, but it's still probably on the weaker side. 49ers be very good, just jamming it down their throats there. I had them splitting with the Cardinals. Took them against the Saints. That's a really good game, though. Defensive game could go either way. Same thing here. Mike McDaniel versus Shanahan. I think the 49ers could find success pounding the football against the Dolphins defense, but Dolphins do a really good job of throwing off quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, with their blitz. So could they really give problems to Trey Lance? But ended up going 49ers in this one. Took the Bucks over the Niners. I had the Niners beating the Seahawks twice. And then I had them beating the Commanders as well. And then 49ers, Raiders in this one. Did I have the Raiders finishing? Yeah, I think I had the Raiders, and that's a good one. I just did the Raiders video. I think I had the Raiders at home. I think they'll both be tough against the run. And so I had the 49ers 11-6. Yeah, that makes sense there. Yeah, that's a really good game. That could very easily go either way, which could put the 49ers at 12 wins. Yeah, that was kind of a 50-50 game for me. It being in Las Vegas, maybe a deciding factor there. But yeah, it's kind of assuming Debo, because 11-6 is, at first glance, like Niners win 11 games. Yeah, like, okay, we're used to that. That definitely could happen. It's a tough team, well-coached team, good players. But then at the same time, it's like, yeah, I feel a little risky, a little bit of a gamble, maybe predicting them to be a very good team again, because it's kind of a shot in the dark of where Trey Lance is at. If Debo doesn't play at all for the 49ers this year, I'd probably change it. I probably don't have them winning 11 games there. So things can easily change for the 49ers, but they're always a very tough team to deal with. 11-6, best case. For best case, I don't really see it changing too much here. I like the Broncos there. I think they could. I don't really want to change too much here. I don't know if I see them. They could win 13. I think 13 is probably the very, very best case. Maybe they 2-0 the Rams, but I'm really thinking 12 is kind of the best case there. Had them at 11. What is worst case? Worst case could be anything, because what if Trey Lance struggles? What if they don't have Debo? But I like some of these matchups, though. I like don't think they get, worst case probably doesn't drop that much, because I don't think they get 2-0'd by anybody in their division. Maybe they drop one of the Seahawks. Between the Saints and the Dolphins. And I like the way they match up against Chargers, but they probably can lose one of those. Worst case, 9-8. I think that makes sense. So we're in that 9, 10, 11, 12 range, but I really want to call them a 10 or 11. 10 and 11 win team there for the 49ers. So ahead of the Cardinals there, but not quite with the Rams. So it's Rams, Niners, Cardinals, and then Seahawks will be last, even though we didn't do the prediction yet. So I had them losing twice to the Niners and the Rams. I just felt like they could get the Cardinals once because of the Seahawks' ability to run the football. My projection, I think they'll be able to run. The problem with that is if they can't pass the ball, the run gets so damn predictable, everyone stacks the box, you won't be as effective running the ball. But I think they could be a pretty effective running team. But the problem is the Rams and the 49ers stop it at such a high level, and you can run the Cardinals. So I had them getting one on the Cardinals there. Week 1, Monday Night Football. Who's going to start at quarterback for the Seahawks? That's kind of a big mystery as well. Will it be Drew Lock versus former team? We do know Russell Wilson will be playing his former team, the Seattle Seahawks. Random things happen in Week 1. It would be pretty wild if the Seahawks won that game, though. Some reason I could see it, but I'm not really predicting it. I think the Broncos should be able to handle business there. But I mean, we could 50-50 games here between the Falcons and the Lions. We can say they'll probably win one and lose one. We'll take the home teams there against the Saints. We'll take the Saints. I think the Seahawks might be more effective at home on the ground. Week 3 against the Falcons. I thought that made more sense. Take them in that one. They could run effectively on the Chargers. The Chargers just got too much offensively, though. There, Giants in Seattle. Defensive game. Probably mistakes from both quarterbacks. Both teams trying to run the ball. The Giants' defense is much better to me, so I took the Giants in that one, but the Seahawks could win that. Had them getting one against the Cardinals, right? We had them losing one there. Losing to the Bucks. Raiders could run effectively on them. The Raiders got a little bit too much there. Panthers, Seahawks, really depends on the Panthers quarterback. Right now it's Sam Darnold, it feels like. I'm going to take the Seahawks in that one. I'll take the Chiefs. And between the Jets, the Seahawks, and our 50-50, we got them only at 3 wins. I had the Jets at like 8-9 wins. Maybe I was a little generous. I think I had them winning this game. I like the Jets in this game, though, I think. It's like the matchup. Salah's defense, that's another one. That's a tough one. Only 3 wins. I thought I'd have the Seahawks more than 3 wins. I thought they could be a little sneaky. It's kind of a staff and still a team, even though they're missing some guys that's been part of that team that are just used to winning. I know last year, I guess, goes against that. So it's tough. I thought I'd have them with like 5 wins, which were not too far off. I mean, best case, we kind of could switch. Maybe they get one on the Niners. Best case can rise up pretty good. Between they get the Giants here. I don't know if they're going to win every single one of these 50-50 games. Who knows? Maybe they win. I could just see it. Maybe they win that Week 1 game. 7 wins maybe for the Seahawks. Maybe best case. It could be just one of those cultures that's kind of just used to winning, though. I know last year, I keep saying last year doesn't really side with that argument, but maybe they just figured it out. Maybe there's a dominant rushing team. Probably not. Probably they probably don't figure it out. But I think, in that 3-4-5, 6 range for wins there. So it could be a down year, but yeah, that's where they wanted to head. They added some draft picks. I thought they drafted very well, by the way, and they added draft picks, and we weren't expecting that, for them to add the draft picks and then draft very well like that. So promising for the future, because they got more draft picks coming up. Can they continue to draft like that? And then they can get kind of back on track. They're going to have to find that quarterback, though. That's kind of the big thing. So, so we had Rams, Niners, Cardinals, Seahawks. Niners finishing with 11 wins. Yeah, I thought I was going to have the Niners finishing maybe with 10. They ended up with 11. I thought I was going to have the Cardinals maybe with 10. They ended up with 9. Because once you go game by game, you can't really decide beforehand what you're going to do. And Seahawks, I thought would have like 5 wins. They ended up with 3. It felt like a tough schedule for them. So there you have it. That's all of the record predictions. They're all in separate videos, 8 videos, I should say, in a playlist on the channel. Check them out. Playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions next. You guys are also kind of creating your own playoff predictions versus the seeding on our Twitter, so make sure you follow that link down below. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. All that would be much, much appreciated. It's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.